Well, g'day travellers, welcome back to the channel, and this one's all about pre-trip maintenance, pre-season maintenance. We're about 6 weeks away from heading away into the New South Wales, Queensland and South Australian Outback with Izzy, and a little bit of maintenance happening now. We noticed that one of the upper ball joints was worn, and Iz does have standard upper control arms, so we're going to upgrade those to some Cal Off-Road upper control arms. So we have been having some issues with the Nitro Charger Sport suspension where we keep breaking shocks. So we're upgrading the front suspension to the new Nitro Charger Plus, and then we'll get into a whole heap of maintenance that's going in tomorrow across the road for a transmission service. We'll change all the driveline fluids out and just give the vehicle a whole once over.
Warnings before purchase. Free yourself from finger pricks with Freestyle Libre.
Well, the old girl's back together, and good job we did what we did, because the tie rod ends were completely shagged out. So we found that while we were doing the shocks and doing the upper control arms. Interestingly, I had the racks done probably about 18 months ago, so the car has done, I reckon, probably about 50, actually just on 50,000 Ks since the steering rack and the tie rods were changed. So and they are completely, I don't know if you can see that movement there, but they were completely flogged out. So just because something's been done recently, and look, we are tough on the gear. Our cars do corrugations, our cars do plenty of off-road stuff, so it is hard on the gear. But just because you've changed something out in the last couple of years and haven't done all that many Ks, don't think that you're good to go. So that could have been absolutely disastrous, heading off 5,000 Ks of Outback roads. We could have come really unstuck. But all the front end is back together. We had an airbag leak that's been rectified, and tomorrow it's in for transmission and transfer case service. Alright, back in the shed now, just finishing off the maintenance on the car side, and we are just about done. So far we've done all the front end. Now obviously the shocks and the coils, they were replaced by ARB under warranty. We had the upper control arms, the tie rod ends. We had to wheel align the vehicle. Then we've done a full driveline service, bar the engine, because I've got probably about another 4,000 Ks before I am due there. So I'll do that probably a week or so before we head off. And throwing that in, you know, there's probably another 350 bucks there in oils and filters to service the engine. So we've spent just under 1,900 at the moment, and we're probably going to come in about, I reckon, about 2,300 bucks, and that is completely going over the vehicle. I'm just doing the final bits. I'm replacing the struts on the ARB Ascent Canopy. Look, they're a wear and tear item, and they're not really holding the door up. The last thing I want to do is get halfway around the trip and have the door flopping down. So we're just changing those out. The cost of these are in that. We've made a little modification to the back of the Ascent Canopy because we have had some issues with the rear doors on these. And look, I'll be honest with you, I think they're a little bit of a shit design, because the way that they're designed, I don't know if I can show you this, let's have a look. So if we drop this down, you can see that you've got a little gap between, I don't know if you can see that or not, but there is a gap between the window and the shell of the canopy. Now, what can happen, I'll drop in a little clip of last time we blew this out on the bridle track. What happens is you can get little gum nuts or whatever, and they'll fall down behind the window here. And then when you lift it up, the window adjust. This is the culprit, folks. Little seed pod had fallen down and got stuck in behind the glass there. Kaboom. Woohoo. Bloody ripper. Shutters. Now, how we've got around that issue is, and I don't know if I can see this. Can we see this? All right, you might be able to see it in here. We've put a little rubber, and it's simply a Canopy weather shield, weather seal that we've stuck along the back. And what that does is it means that nothing can fall down between the canopy and the window. And we did that probably about 2 years ago, and we have not had a window break since. So if you got one of those ARB Ascent canopies, I would recommend doing that. Just a little rubber strip with a 3M tape on it. Put it up under the glass just to stop crap. Now what does happen now is I get leaves and shit down in there, which are a little bit hard to get out now, but I would rather deal with that than deal with a broken window. So we'll just swap these out, and then all this work we're doing on the car isn't just for our Outback Odyssey trip. It's gearing up for a whole season of filming for us. Winter is when our travel season really starts. We normally do a larger trip. And this time around on the Outback Odyssey, Neen wants to take the Austrac. Now, it hasn't seen a lot of work since the Kimberley trip, and that was a 15,000k trip. And look, we did have a few issues with it, and it's no secret that I haven't been a big fan of the Austrac. Let's just take a little look at some of my not so favourite Austrac moments. Well, folks, we're just about set up, and I've got to say that was the biggest pain in the ass of my life. That annex is an absolute, excuse my French, but prick of a thing. Now, the great thing was, because we were so confident this was all going to work, we've bought no other fuel source. So, I don't know, we've got a couple of really good steaks that might end up on the bloody fire. I don't think we've got another option. But still tossing around with this solar. We can't seem to get it to cut in, but the other thing I forgot to mention is if you're buying one of these things, the standard mattress is like a slab of hardwood, isn't it? Well, folks, we're in at Trilby Station. We rolled in after dark, and things ain't looking great, to be honest. We can't get the camper to charge up. We're currently sitting on 11.7 volts. We snapped off our lovely little blue handle to the jockey wheels. So our locking hitch pin, we actually snapped off the end, snapped off the lock. The fridge turned off. So our freezer is currently sitting at 3 and our fridge at 15. All right, now let's, oh, no. There's more. Doesn't stop there. So see our handbrake cable sitting on the ground? Yep. I'm supposed to sit on the ground. But wait, that's not it. Let's come under the back of the Austrac to where we have oil leaking out of the right hand outside shock, oil leaking out of the right hand, the left hand outside shock, and our limiting strap for the trailing arm there, the bolt has fallen out, so we have no limiting strap. So
yep.
And your fucking camper trailers, every time you look at it, there's something else falling off because it's a piece of shit.
Built tough, built to last. Bullshit. Austrac, don't buy one.
Now, as most of you fellas would know, happy wife, happy life. And Neen has not asked me, she has said to me, we are taking the Austrac on the Outback Odyssey trip. So I guess we're taking the Austrac on the Outback Odyssey trip. But last time we took it out, which was I can't remember now, it was earlier in the year. Coming back, we had some issues with the electric brakes. Now, I've had them checked out on the D-Max side. Everything is hunky-dory, so there's obviously a problem on the camper side. Now, I know sweet bugger all about camper trailer braking and electric brakes and all that sort of thing, so I have got a mobile camper caravan guy coming out through the week to have a look at that. Now we've clocked up probably, I don't know, probably close to 20,000 Ks on the Austrac. So it is time, it's probably overdue to have the bearings checked out, to have the brakes checked out, and just talking to the camper trailer guy seems to think it might be a magnet or something on the electric brakes, but as I said, that is way outside of my skill set. So we're going to get that all checked out. Now I'm sort of guessing we're going to get a wheel alignment on it too, and they're friggin' expensive, like 380 bucks to get this thing wheel aligned, and you can't just take it to your local tyre shop. What I found is even the caravan guys don't do them in-house. They send them out to the truck aligners. So we're going to take it up to Pro Axle to get it wheel aligned after the brakes have been sorted, and the whole thing has had to go over, probably new bearings, that sort of thing. So look, I'm envisaging we're probably going to spend another $1,000–1,500 bucks on the camper, getting it ready. But look, it does make sense. We have the camper, it sits here most of the time doing absolutely nothing. We own it. We did contemplate buying a hybrid caravan, but I really can't justify, 80 grand plus for a caravan that we're going to use, maybe 4 or 5 weeks of the year. So we're going to spend a little bit of money on the Austrac, getting it sorted. You may remember a while back we had some issues, and you would have seen in that little clip that I run that the shocks blew out. I have since replaced them all with Old Man Emu Nitro Charger shocks. Only done one trip on it since I'd done that. That all seemed to go pretty well. We had some electrical issues. We think they've been rectified. So once we get that all sorted, we're going to take the Austrac out, and we'll let you know after the guy comes out exactly what the issues are, and we'll try and get a little bit of information on how often that you should be doing bearings and brake adjustments and all that sort of thing on your camper trailer. Now, a couple of other things that I wanted to touch on while I'm talking about getting the vehicles ready for touring or your big holidays is, we've covered pretty heavily on the mechanical sides of things and the servicing side of things, but there's some stuff that you can do that just makes life easier. One is making sure that you keep the wax and the polish up on the vehicle, so that you get, and you'll know whether your polish is needs doing, because the rain won't be beating nicely on the paintwork. So I use a ceramic polish. This is just the turtle wax. I've used a couple of brands. Whatever it is, just making sure that there's a good protective coat of polish on your vehicle. It just makes it so much easier to clean it. It's harder for the mud and stuff to stick to the vehicle. So yeah, make sure you clean your car when you get back, and even if it's just giving it in between major polishes, like a spray polish, just to keep that up, you'll thank me, because it's so much easier to clean. The other area, and this is really important, particularly if you're like me, a lot of the time you got cameras pointing out of windows of the car, is keeping your windows nice and clean, but also having good visibility in shitty weather like we've got today. So I like to use, and I'm not sponsored by Rain-X, but Rain-X, if you'd like to sponsor me, I'm happy to have a talk. I've used this stuff for absolutely ever. So Rain-X, I use their 2-in-1 glass cleaner, and also their little wipe on, wipe off. Now, what this does is it just means that it's pretty much like polishing your car. You're polishing the glass. So the rain tends to bead. So when you've got that light rain, the wind will push the water straight off your window, and it just makes things a whole heap easier to see. But also when you have got your wipers going, it just means that the wiper can clear the water off the glass much easier. While I'm talking about wipers, your wiper blades. For us guys that four-wheel drive a lot and we've got mud and shit all over our windows all the time, and you're putting on your washers and you're trying to clear it off, that stuff is really abrasive. So if you're running cheap wiper blades, the mud and the grit and the sand they'll have a pretty short life. So I use the Wiper Tech, and again, not a sponsored plug, not sponsored by Wiper Tech. Wiper Tech, if you would like to talk. I use the Wiper Tech wipers. Now, they are pretty expensive. I think they're about 80 bucks a set for the fronts, but they're just such a superior wiper blade, and they're dead set easy to change. Like some of those ones you get from Super Cheap and that, they can be a bit of a mongrel to get the right one and to get them on. These things, yeah, dead set do them in a minute or so. The other thing is clean your wiper blades. So when you've been out in the mud and stuff and you wash your car, don't just wash your window, wash your wiper blades to make sure all of that gunk's off them. So you couple that with products like the Rain-X and a good coat of polish on your car, you're going to find clean up after your adventures a whole lot easier. Well folks, I reckon we're going to wrap that one up here. It's pretty shitty out there today, so I'm not going to get anything more done on the D-Max. But I hope this video has given you a little bit of an insight into the sort of prep and maintenance that goes into keeping the four-wheel drive reliable while we're out there shooting our adventures. And it by no means that nothing's going to happen, but it certainly puts the odds in our favour. Now we'll probably drop a video in the next week or so, just running you through the prep on the Oztrack and also on the gear. So that's coming up, but for now it's a shitty Saturday afternoon. It's about that time, beer o'clock. And you know the drill. If you like what we do, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you check us out on our other socials and listen to that thunder. It is time to wrap it up and have a beer, guys. We'll catch you somewhere on the next episode of We Went That Away Adventures. Cheers.